Recording. Hi everyone. For this album, we're gonna be talking about Stormkeep's Tales of Other Time, and I have with me the one and only. I'm gonna do that again because I wasn't in full screen. God fucking damn it! See, I'm telling you, man, I'm so bad at this shit. Thank God no one watches my stuff. um, all right. Let's see. Do I want to decide? Do I want to do? Oh, let's do like a side by side thing. That's perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
All right. Hi everyone. For this album, we're going to be talking about Stormkeep's Tales of Other Time, and right now I have with me the one and only, the myth, the vampire lord himself, Kalen, aka Painxpiss, aka the guy from Hexablad. Yeah. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kalen, or stage name Bruxa from Hexblad.
Right.
Uh, I just really like black metal.
There you go. And so he's going to be here as kind of a an encyclopedia of sorts because I can recognize that specifically this album, Stormkeep's Tales of Other Time, is very much a tribute to the sort of classic melodic black metal that came out in the mid '90s. And I am not entirely familiar with a lot of the classic bands. Of course, I've heard enough to be familiar with the genre, but I'm not a connoisseur, as we might say. So I have the nerd here to do that job for me. All right. So without further ado, yeah, this album's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a fantastic record.
I mean, like, oh man, would you say this? I mean, I remember this was your number one, I think, right?
Yes, of 2021 favorite album. Yeah,
I mean, I I rarely say that an album is perfect, but would you say that this is perfect?
I would say maybe it's not perfect, but there's not a single thing I would change that's on the record itself. Everything on
Okay,
there is perfect. There's more I would wish for,
right.
but everything that's on tape is flawless. Yeah,
I mean, I wish Slaughter of the Soul was twice as long, but I mean,
we all do. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you can't really fault them for that. And then at the same time, like if they're a shorter album of like pure quality is almost better, almost always
hmm
better than a longer album of mediocre stuff. So
Yeah, and I think it speaks a lot for the we're gonna cut that.
don't worry.
um one, two. I think it speaks a lot for the quality of the record itself that I can listen to it all the way through, and by the time the last track rolls around, I'm like, ah shit, I wish there was more. It's already over.
Right. It gives you the feeling you want to play it again immediately afterwards,
Mhm,
right?
exactly, which I usually do.
Yeah, I was listening to it before this, trying to like hype myself up, and I almost played it again. I was on the last song, and I was like, I I nearly played it again, and then I
Yeah.
texted you. So, but yeah. So on the first track, especially, they really give like a strong first impression. I feel like, and
Oh, absolutely.
for my money, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but I'm hearing a bit of. I mean, obviously you're hearing like Dimmu Borgir, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then a bit of Dissection, although there's not as much melody as there are in the Dissection records. And then
No.
I'm also hearing a bit of like mid-era Immortal, almost kind of like at the Heart of Winter era
hmm
Immortal, where the
Yeah.
like the thrashier riffs.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you're kind of hearing in the first song, especially?
On the first track especially, I am hearing that early Dimmu like influence, like before they sold out and went totally clean and polished.
Right.
The dissection reference is or not rough. God, I'm picking up from dissection. One, two, three. The dissection mention is pretty spot on. I would maybe tie it more akin to bands like Dawn or Sacramentum. It's a little bit less melodic, but still in that melodic vein.
Hmm.
And something that I picked up on is I believe it's about two-thirds of the way through the song. They play this riff with this harmonic that is like a dead ringer from Emperor's first record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I have been saying for ever since their EP last year or
Oh,
the year
wow.
before, whenever it came out, that they're kind of like the modern continuation of Emperor, and I
Hmm.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone's like kind of disappointed that Emperor hasn't released more stuff. So
Exactly. If Emperor's not going to be Emperor anymore, Stormkeep can do it.
Exactly, yeah. So, and then after that we get to the second track, which surprisingly they do go for an interlude, like pretty much right off the first track, and I mean it doesn't take a genius to recognize that that it's pretty much just okay, well. And on this interlude, it doesn't really take a genius to realize that this is paying homage to none other than summoning, of course. And I mean, I think that's about it. It's pretty much just a pure summoning track, aside from
Yeah,
the no
in the best
vocals.
way possible.
Exactly, yeah. Alexa, stop. My Alexa turned on. Yes. Why is it even plugged in? Okay, I'm unplugging it.
Okay.
That's some quality B-roll right there. Holy shit.
Absolutely.
I
That's a
couldn't even
little
hear what it
blooper
was
reel for
saying
the
until it
end.
was like it sounded like my mom was yelling at me, but it was the Alexa over in my kitchen.
Mm.
It was
It heard you
stalking
say
me.
summoning, and it was like, I'm gonna play summoning. Fuck it.
Did it really? Oh my god. It might have. Yeah, that's
Mm.
ridiculous. All right. All right. So, the first interlude on the album is very much a an homage to specifically summoning. It doesn't really take a genius to realize that, and personally, I'm kind of glad it's like it's really just a perfect length,
Yeah.
because when you're doing a when you're doing an interlude this early into the album, you kind of have to be careful with not having it detract too much from the energy, and I think they do a nice job of keeping it at a solid at a solid quick 3 minutes.
Hmm.
And if it were any longer than that, I might actually feel like it was a little out of place. It, at the but at the length that it is, it's really not that big of an issue.
No, and I've noticed on this record here they kept their dungeon synth and like ambient influences to the interludes,
Right.
whereas on their debut EP they would have it interspersed with like the actual full songs,
Okay.
which a lot of people online had an issue with, even though I thought it was great. But I also love dungeon synth and
Hmm.
black metal together, so I was fine with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool
Yeah.
actually, because but I think it also I think that separation would also help to kind of really highlight the early black metal influences, and then kind of
Yes.
and make sure that those are like very much center stage on the main
Yeah,
songs.
I think that the interludes really do a good job of like bookending
Hmm.
the massive black metal that we get in between, which
Right,
is
of course.
it's great. Yeah, makes it sound so much bigger and more like epic.
Oh
Not
yeah,
to
for
sound like
sure.
a redditor, but
No, it's okay. And then also, I'm glad they kept the interludes to only two songs at I think it was
mhm.
like a total of 7 minutes or something.
Yeah,
Um,
if that. Yeah,
yeah, because like the first one's like 3 minutes, and I think the second one's like a little longer.
I think
Um,
the second one's actually shorter. I
is
think
it
it's like
really?
2:16 or something. Yeah,
I mean, you would
or
know.
maybe
You've
the
listened to
first
it more than
one's.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do exercise restraint with with the interludes, and I appreciate that a lot because it really you I mean when you on repeated listens, you really do want to get to the main tracks, and because
Hmm.
those are very much the highlights. And I mean, well, the whole thing is a highlight, but if you were going to call it a reprieve sort of, then the interludes would be that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Time to get a little breather in between songs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And then we have a Journey Through Storms, right? Which is I believe that was the first single they put out, right?
No, Serpent Stone was. They
Wow.
only had one single, I believe, actually.
Was it really?
I think so, yeah. Because I mean, the album, the promotion cycle for it was a fucking nightmare.
Right. I do
You
remember
couldn't even.
watching the video like on Blaine's stream, and I think it was a Journey Through Storms, but I'm not sure.
Mm,
Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, And I'll
Yeah.
probably cut all that out because
Okay.
I went down a tangent that was not relevant. So, um, anyway, and then we
Well,
disagreed with each other, which was even more awkward.
see, oh,
Oh
fuck
shit!
me.
No.
Make sure that's gonna stay put. Stay put. Cool.
You're good.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. My phone just fell for some
Don't worry
damn
about it.
reason. Okay, let's take it from the top. 1, 2, 3.
All right, sweet. So, the next track, "Journey Through Storms," is it's more. I mean, it's not like up tempo, but it is still also very energetic. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like on this one, there's less of the. I feel like there's more of the sort of thrashy elements on this track as
Yeah.
well. Would you agree to that?
Yeah. It's much more aggressive than
Mm-hmm.
the opening track by a fucking landslide. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And even like the first track I felt was it wasn't like aggressive, but it wasn't super aggressive, but it was definitely energetic. Um it has like just a fantastic riff, which is something that I really gravitate towards as someone who's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily or as someone who really has like a so I'm someone who has a musical background in actual like classical performance. And so
Yeah.
I mean, well, not I'm like trained, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna restate that so I don't sound fucking pretentious. Um, all right, so I have like a sort of recreational like jazz classical background on saxophone actually, and so I'm someone who my brain works where it really grabs onto memorable riffs and like quality melodies that will kind of lead you along a path, sort of. I'm someone who needs that kind of guiding energy in an album, and this has it through and through, all the way. It's fantastic. Their melody writing and just sense of like being able to write not even necessarily a chorus, but a just a great riff that will like lead you
Mm-hmm.
along is
Yeah,
just
when the riff really works as a hook, that's how it
oh,
really gets
absolutely,
you, you
yeah.
know? Yeah. It drives you along into the next portion of the song and into the next track on the track listing.
Hmm.
It's like a just shot of adrenaline and it's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I think the best example of that would be the next track is the Serpent Stone, which is my favorite track. I think it's yours as well, if I remember correctly.
It's my favorite black metal song of the year.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
I
even
mean,
better than Spectral Wound, really.
I'm wearing that shirt today for that reason because Frigid and Spellbound really hit me hard, but then that song came out and I'm
Hmm.
like, this does a lot more with a lot
Right.
less.
I would be wearing the Stormkeep shirt, but I wore it yesterday, I think.
I
And
wore the Stormkeep one yesterday.
there you go. All right, so on this track especially, they bring out a lot of unique sort of elements that they're kind of omitting on the rest of on the rest of the main tracks, which are
Hmm.
specifically the use of synths and the use of even clean vocals on the chorus, which
Hmm.
is just amazing. Like it's incredible effect, and but it also is kind of out of left field in the sense of you've heard the last two main tracks that were very much like mid-tempo, aggressive, melodic black metal in the same vein as like Emperor, and this is also in the vein of Emperor, but using more triumphant
It's
synthesizers, I would
yeah, it's
say.
touching more on Emperor's later catalog,
Right.
like Prometheus and the Revenant's EP,
Hmm.
which definitely had a more of a triumphant, epic feel. Like it really drew from like that, like just like raise a fist, like powerful shit. Not power metal, not that, not by any means,
Hmm.
but just powerful metal.
Yeah, absolutely. I also
Hmm.
hear even more of like the early Dimmu Borgir on this track as well.
Yep.
Um, so, but then there's the weird element of the clean vocals. Would you say that that's just like an inclusion of theirs that they felt would just be cool, or is there a story behind that as well?
Um, if I was thinking about like the roots of like using that in a song like this, I could look back at bands like Enslaved or
Hmm.
Winder, who would occasionally do that. A lot of the bands who had like the Viking metal or the folk metal aspect to
Right.
their sound. Um, it worked to great effect with Caladan Brood a
Hmm.
decade ago,
Yeah.
which the clean vocals are Jake from Visigoth, who
Yeah.
was
So
Caladan Brood.
I was gonna say
So
like
just
there's the folk metal connection there. The
mhm,
singer is the dude from Cowden Brood, so
yeah.
so that
And
works
I think
out.
that he just really wanted, or I'm not sure who decided to write it like that, but I think it was good to hear a sound that was popular a decade ago brought into a song that's paying homage to a sound from 2 decades ago.
Yeah, and then what I find curious is that other than the summoning interlude, of course, there really isn't much overlap with Caladan Brood. I feel like, I mean, other than
Not
just like
necessarily, no, yeah.
other than like thematics, I guess, because it's like
Hmm.
about wizardry and shit. But um, there isn't really a songwriting kind of overlap. I mean, of course, they're paying homage to summoning, and then of course that was a
Hmm.
major
That
influence
was
on That
Caladan
was
Brood,
Caldon
yeah.
Brood. So, but there really isn't like. I mean, I had people mentioning that like or claiming that there was like influence from specifically Caldon Brood, and I'm like, not really. It's just the dude singing on it, and not. I mean, even the song isn't really like a Cowden Brood song. It just works
No,
really
not at
well.
all.
I mean, other than I mean, his singing part is reminiscent, of course, because he's
Yes.
the one performing it. But in terms of the writing, it's really not. It's really not that influenced by that kind of style, that kind of
I would never call Caladan Brood an aggressive band,
yeah.
whereas Stormkeep, there's some venom to their music. It
Oh,
makes it feel
absolutely.
more aggressive.
hmm And that really comes in the guitar riff writing that
Absolutely. Those riffs are like fucking razor blades. They're
yeah.
awesome.
All right, and then after that we have the acoustic interlude, right? Which
Yep. Oh, the dragons.
yeah, and I mean, I felt like this. If I was going to pick a track that stood out the least, I think it would be this one, at least for me. Um, but I mean, maybe you could say more to like where they're kind of if they're kind of paying homage to anything, or if they're just doing an acoustic thing.
Yeah, to me it kind of felt like um the way that the first interlude was the dungeon synth one.
hmm
This is kind of like the acoustic version of that same vibe. So it's
Right.
almost like they wanted to give us an interlude with traditional instruments.
Okay.
And um a lot of bands back in the day, like Summoning, Dimmu, Emperor, they would
hmm
always toy with acoustics as well. Not to the full effect here, or like bands like say Agalloch would.
Yeah.
Um, but I damn it. Lost my train of thought right there. Um, Regathering. Okay, yeah. I'll pick back up from the Agalloch
Yeah.
statement. 1, 2, 3. Um, Bands like Emperor, Winder, Enslaved, and a slew of others would all toy with like acoustics in little tiny parts of their songs,
hmm
but they wouldn't use it to full effect the way that a band like Agalloch would
Yeah.
a
Of course.
decade later. But shit.
I can just cut out
I
the
know
pause.
that
You can just continue from there.
yes,
Like
yes,
Stormkeeps
yeah.
does what?
Uh-huh. You said that this song doesn't really stand out to you.
hmm
To me, it stood out probably the most
Really?
because the melodies they were playing were really nice and I wanted them to do more with it, which is why it stood out because it pissed me off that they
Oh.
didn't expand farther upon it. It was
hmm
like a diamond in the rough and they just didn't want to polish it.
Yeah. I think my first impression was holy shit after hearing the Serpent Stone, and I was probably
Mhm.
just not paying attention.
I
I,
wouldn't blame you.
I think that's what happened, and then I was just like kind of waiting for the last track, which I mean,
Hmm.
it happens. But it's not a
Hmm.
bad song by any means. It just like it's another interlude, and so I'm glad it doesn't
Exactly.
last too long, and it's rather brief. And then of course the performance is really good, and the melodies they're playing are nice, but it's really not intended to stand out the way that the other tracks do. I feel like.
Yeah. It's meant to slowly guide you into like the blizzard that's coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The absolute
Absolutely.
like the maelstrom that is the
Hmm.
final track, which is
Fantastic word choice. I couldn't say it any better myself.
just oh man, it's so it's so triumphant, but also like so incredibly aggressive and just unrelenting throughout the entire track.
It's oppressive almost.
Oh yeah,
Like a dark shadow just looming over you,
but not in the
descending
way that
down
like
ice and
Yeah, but not in the way that like harsh black metal typically is.
Yeah,
Not in the way that Spectral Wound would be, for example.
exactly.
It's like I mean, much in line with the theatrics of Stormkeep, it's very much a fantastical sort of like Blizzard in the sense that
Yes.
like um it's less of the less of the very harsh atmosphere and even tone of even other modern melodic black metal bands.
Yeah, it's not like a Passage de Verre record where it just
Hmm.
feels like staticky snow just enveloping you. This feels like a wizard casting ice spells at you the whole
Oh yeah,
time.
100%. And then of course the cover is probably the best thing I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely gorgeous album cover.
It's unreal. I am blessed to own that on a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I am blessed to own it on the glacier blue vinyl. That is
I
hard to
swear to God,
find
I'm still
now.
mad at you for that. Oh man, I'm still mad that it was sold out by the time I got by the time I saw the link on my fucking Twitter page.
Yeah. I bought it literally within like 2 minutes of $20 spin posting theirs.
Jesus.
And by the time I had bought it and went to refresh, it was gone.
Oh my
I
God.
might have got their last one. My guitar player is also pissed at me for getting it.
Yeah, well, I'm with him. They'll do a repress. They have to. But
Oh, shoot him a DM. He has links for represses.
oh shit.
Yeah, he pre-ordered 2 of them
Oh my God.
because he's like, I can get the black one and I can get the blue one, and a little birdie tells me there's a blood red version coming.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
but back to the video where we had a tremendous aside right there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna. Uh, well, I mean, I feel like we have enough footage to where I might actually release the full like uncut thing separately.
Oh,
Because we're kind
fantastic.
of just like I was that was one of the things that I was thinking about was like if it only ends up being like if we only end up talking for like 15 minutes, I might just like cut it up and
Hmm.
then put it in the video. But if we end up talking for like half an hour,
Yeah,
I might just release that separately and be like, "Hey, here's the full conversation that I had
yeah,
with
we're just
Kaylin. We're
ripping
just
back and forth
vibing,
at this
yeah."
point. Yeah,
So and then you get to hear the bullshit that happened earlier with my
yeah.
fucking Alexa that's stalking me. Mm. But yeah, holy shit. Let me pull up my notes. Did I have anything else written
Mhm.
for? Oh right, okay. So on I forgot the name of the song.
The last track. Let me Google it.
Eternal
Hold up.
something
Tales
manifest.
of Other Time. The last track is
Eternal Majesty Manifest. That's what it is.
yes, yep.
It was the last song I played on Spotify because I was listening to the album earlier. But all right, so on the last track, Eternal Majesty Manifest, what would you say is there any different influence on this track, or are they bringing in just a different weight of kind of thematics where they're going for more of a triumphant, like very epic and aggressive feeling? Is there any bands that really fit that bill more than anything else?
Um, I am probably beating a dead horse here, but it reminds me a lot of Emperor's final record, Prometheus.
Okay.
I believe it was. Let me get my facts straight. Hold up, Emperor Prometheus. Uh, is it their final one? It's their fourth one. They had Scattered Ashes afterwards, and that was a compilation. Yeah, it was their final one. Okay, so we can keep that in.
All right. Good.
Fantastic. Let me let Goblin in real quick. He's yelling at me.
Aw.
Damn
No,
it.
your
I'm so
phone.
sorry.
Don't even worry about it. More B-roll.
Thank you, Goblin. Exactly. More
My
embarrassing
dog's over there in his
B-roll.
bed, but I'm probably talking too loud for him to come over.
Oh, my cat has this issue where whenever I'm on the phone with somebody, he wants to be yelling at me for attention. Then as soon as I get off of calls, he decides he doesn't want to talk to me anymore.
Aw, what an asshole.
Exactly.
It's okay.
But
We're accustomed to having special guests for our special guests.
okay,
Aiden's
so where
cats
were
just
we?
like walked in on him when he was recording his thing. It was hilarious last year.
Oh man.
All right, and then on the okay. I especially with the okay, I said especially twice. I'm fucking cutting that too. Okay.
I'm on the spectral.
Yeah, I actually am.
I need to get diagnosed.
Yeah, there you go. I was such a bad child. I was diagnosed when I was 8 years old. They were like, "Get this fucking
Jesus.
kid tested. He's such a problem."
I had parents who didn't believe in that kind of stuff.
Ah, that's, there you go. All right. So on the last track, I'm also hearing a bit of In the Night Side Eclipse, of course, with just like the with the spooky synths and stuff. But I feel like that's
hmm
kind of a surface level analysis, if you might say. It's probably not wrong, but it's kind of just like a well, I mean, it's the Emperor album I'm most familiar with, so
Yeah, it's their best one, so I don't blame you for that at all.
why listen to anything else?
Exactly.
But yeah, all right. So let's see. Did I have anything else I wanted to say? We kind of went through everything, which
Everything.
oh,
Interview.
I was gonna ask your opinion on this, but
I'll let you know when I'm done with this.
nice.
bad.
Uh, let's see. All right, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Let's see. How do I want to close this? Let's just gush for like a minute or two.
Yeah,
All right.
for
So
sure.
this overall is
Okay. Oh, I have a good topic of conversation we can go off of.
okay.
If you could change anything, what would you change?
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, I'm tempted to like. Well, I mean, I don't know. Am I being nitpicky by saying like maybe I'd like? I'm definitely being nitpicky by trying to do anything to the interludes, right? Like for
Maybe. I
sure.
mean, because they're barely even real songs, you know?
Yeah, and like that's the point. Is they're
It's
not
kind of like
entire. They're not
it's
trying to be.
it's the tomato on your burger. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be there. You're kind of weird if you take it off. You can just like if you don't like it that much, you can just deal with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
hmm
So
Uh,
in that
for me, the
sense,
only thing I would really change. I'm sorry, I cut you off there. You go.
I was gonna say the same thing. So go for it.
Okay. Uh, there's really only two things that I think could be changed on this album because I think it's perfect as is. But I did love hearing Jake's clean vocals on it in the two songs they used it on
Oh, he
because
was on
they
two.
yeah the first track I believe there's like a little bit of backing vocal you'll
Okay.
hear during the last half of it, and then of course on Serpent Stone when it has
Yeah.
like he takes center stage,
Mhm.
and it's like this blood pumping just triumphant march of just epic power vocals
Mhm.
that are very akin to his work with Visigoth even,
Oh yeah.
and I think they should have definitely utilized that more. Then at that point, it kind of you risk taking the record more into like the poppy accessible
Mhm.
territories that a lot of true black metalers would not like. But who gives a shit? Because it sounds awesome. I want more. I want him to get Caladan Brood back, and he's not going to do it. So I have this, and it's awesome.
Honestly, yeah, like that. That's a great point because they really only utilize his vocals in a kind of in like a choral way,
Yeah,
as
it's
both
almost like
backing
he's
and
playing a
then
character,
yeah, and then he's kind of like a
even.
chorus in himself on a
hmm
Serpent Stone. He's not really taking charge in a like a vocal melody kind of way in the way
Yeah.
that Visigoth does.
hmm
Of course, like it's his talents, and so he's using those in the same way, but
Exactly.
it's not
He sounds
really
huge.
yeah, it's not written in the same way, and so
hmm
I feel like that could have been done, but just as you were saying, it does risk the it does risk making it feel too accessible,
hmm
um, and that's actually something that they managed to balance really well with.
I think this is a perfect record as far as accessibility goes because
Mhm.
people like me who enjoy the raw, grimy shit you can find on Bandcamp with five like listeners ever, that appeals to me, but also it appeals to the mainstream black metal fan who doesn't go any farther than like Mayhem or Dark Throne
Right.
or Cradle of Filth even, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. And so it appeals to even the modern listeners who don't really like that kind of aggressive stuff, and then
hmm
of course it will always appeal to the fans of the classic stuff. So
Exactly. I mean, this album even I've seen a lot of people who don't even like black metal say, "Oh, Stormkeep put out a great record this year," which I think
damn.
is fantastic for getting people into the scene.
Oh yeah, absolutely. great shit. I wouldn't change anything either. I mean,
Yeah.
other than just like, uh, I don't know. I feel like, hmm, I could have used like, I think I could have used like, actually no. I was gonna say like I could have used like one kind of like shitty folk metal riff, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that'd be fun. It'd be fun.
I don't know. I mean, you kind of you're not that far off from that anyway, and
Hmm.
so I feel like my tastes have been sated anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I mean,
shitty
really,
folk
the
metal,
only.
wait until you see number one.
Oh man. No, see, a lot of the riffs on this record are just like one like major key change away from being a folk metal riff.
Oh
So I
yeah,
mean, you're basically getting it.
yeah, and that's why it works so well is because like
Hmm.
you're taking the melody writing from a genre known for its great melody, and then
Hmm.
of course adding the melodic black metal a genre also known for its great melody, but also great atmosphere and all of this stuff, and it's just putting it all together in a really fantastic package that is also just a major enjoyment to listen to. It's just a riot
Hmm.
all the way through.
It's a fun record to listen to.
Oh yeah.
There's so many great like riffs and like vocal lines, like especially the one-liners on this album that I will just think about. And me being in a band myself, I just think like, damn, I could never write a one-liner as good as the one from like Serpent Stone, where he just says black magic reckoning. Like, what is
Yes.
that? I don't know what it is, but it's awesome.
It's
I
so
just
good.
like I wish I thought of that.
It doesn't even really mean anything. It just sounds
It
awesome.
it doesn't. I heard it the first time and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh well, it sounds cool. Who cares?
That sounds absolutely killer. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Any other praises I can shower upon this record? Well, yeah, that's not even really worth talking about because that doesn't affect the sound of it.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll say the packaging for the vinyl with like the map and
Shut
shit
up,
is
nerd. You're jealous.
fantastic.
You're gonna make me jealous. That map is so cool.
It's so cool. Oh, Hexblot is stealing that for our next release.
Just put a Witcher map in there. Just like here
We
you
are, yeah.
go.
We're gonna have a map of the continent. I'm gonna hand draw it. I'm gonna use the
Oh
Witcher 3
shit.
map and just yeah,
Nice. That's the
yeah.
Witcher 3 map is gorgeous, but I mean,
Hmm.
a hand drawn
I
version
will.
would be so cool.
I'm gonna ask you to cut this part out because it's a secret Hexblood secret.
Oh,
Um, for a merch idea, I am drawing up. I'm very excited to see how that turns out.
hell yeah. I'll make sure to bleep you out on even the uncut version. Because
Yeah.
fuck you guys.
You want the first dib when they go live on Bandcamp.
I mean, assuming I, get the notification and see it soon enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that shit sells out real quick because you guys have a lot of fans now.
A terrifying amount of fans.
Way more than you would have ever expected.
I thought 5 people would care about it.
Holy
I
shit.
thought maybe 5 people.
That's awesome, dude.
Pressure.
All right, let's see. But yeah, their art's awesome. The cover's amazing. It's like
Hmm.
just the best thing. It's so fucking good. The color scheme with the red logo and the red text is just gorgeous over the
The
blue
red on the
cover.
blue looks
Oh man.
fantastic.
And then
I think everything from the music to the artwork, this album really set a benchmark. If you're going to make epic symphonic black metal, like from this point going forward, if you're not trying to be as good as Stormkeep, why are you even doing it?
oh yeah.
Because like this is going to be a hard album to top, but I'm excited for bands to try to top it.
hmm I mean, we're gonna get the wave of like, this band sounds like Stormkeep, but it's still
Hmm.
like good, which of course is like not a complaint, but it
Hmm.
happens. So
Yeah, no, and I think it's great that this band came along. And I mean, even from like, there's a massive sound change almost from their EP to this full length, where they really did embrace that second wave, like big symphonic, like black metal sound.
hmm
Whereas the first one had like that medieval dungeon-y symphonic sound. It was a lot more
right.
murky, a lot more less clear and like present. Whereas the only other band in the modern scene that I could think of that did this was the Finnish band Vargrav 2 years ago. They actually put out my favorite black metal record of 2019. And then Satanic Warmaster joined the band and ruined it.
Oh, god damn it.
So Stormkeep came along and said, you know what? We'll pick up the slack. It's fine.
Hell yeah. Ooh, you're sliding around a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah.
You weren't out of focus or anything, so you're good.
Okay.
Let's see. Fuck it. Let's talk about the members. So this isn't just like a random band either. We know all of these guys because I believe it's all the members of Wayfarer, and then Isaac from Blood Incantation. So the nerd who wrote that 18-minute song.
I'm assuming he's also the nerd who's pushing for this new dark ambient record they're doing.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like he's the one who's behind that, and if so, it's going to be fantastic.
I'm actually like, I heard they were doing a planetarium tour, and I would totally pay big money to go see that because that'd be so
that'd be
fucking
really
cool.
Fun
With a light show and shit. It'd be so good.
That'd be so cool.
But yeah, and so this is like super group, I guess. So there you go. We have a really good record from a super group that is also doing other stuff. Like Wayfarer put out a record last year, and then I think it was last year, right? Well, last year was in 2020, and then Blood Incantation, of course, put out a record in 2019. And so we have modern clout, and not even in just black metal, because Blood Incantation. We have
one of the biggest bands in death metal. Yeah,
we have like real quality. still like underground sort of extreme metal clout on this roster, and it's really just like
it's this wonderful underground metal pedigree that like really everyone in this band brought their A game to this record.
Oh, 100%.
You can see why, like, typically supergroups when they're formed, it's kind of like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
This band shows why you should do that.
Another thing about supergroups is sometimes they put out one good record and then a bunch of garbage. So hopefully that's not it. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But down.
Yeah. It's also wild that this is the second black metal supergroup from Denver in the last few years.
Yeah, true.
Because we had a Black Curse 2 years ago, and that was
right.
Chemist and Spectral Void.
Yeah. That was a great record too. I had that on my.
That was really good.
I had that on my 2020 list.
I did too.
I think it was fantastic. Number 9. Don't quote me on that. It's been a year.
I believe it was my number 3 spot in my honorable mentions, like in like my 10 to 20 range.
Okay,
probably number 13 overall.
2019 was a fucking insane year.
That was
2020 was an insane year too.
That was the year Wormwitch put out their last record, and that was my number 1. That was a fantastic homage to classic black metal as well.
Yeah, there you go. Damn. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Like
everything besides us literally filleting the record. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think at this point, let me just check to see how long we've been recording. We're almost at the length of the record, so it's been 38 minutes.
Wow. It's a fantastic album commentary.
Yeah,
amazing. Put them on at the same time. Enjoy it.
Honestly, you could.
You could. Sure, after halfway through, you'd be like, can these two nerds shut the hell up? I'm trying to hear this awesome album.
Good point. Don't listen to. Don't put them on at the same time if it's your first time listening. In fact, and if it's blast that shit if it's your first time listening.
And if it's not your first time listening to it, find somebody who hasn't heard it before and just hit them really hard and make them listen to it.
Hit them really hard, knock them out, and then Wait.
Hey.
Don't get me too
Calm
excited.
down, Gall.
Yeah. Oh, shit. That's what he was trying to do.
Gall, our gay king.
He was just trying to get them to listen to fucking
an album that was 10 years not even recorded.
Listen to my band, you motherfucker. All right, yeah, this has been great. So,
had a good time.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad you agreed to do this, even though I was kind of being a pussy and just waiting to ask you to do this for a while. I knew you were in Toronto for a while.
3 weeks. I was mad busy. I felt terrible about it. I was gonna message you actually yesterday and be like, hey man, if you still want to do it, I'm down. If you don't, I get it. I was dicking around too much.
Yeah, I had stuff I had some stuff going on back at home, but then also I also wanted a time when I could, you know, have most of the house empty,
Yeah,
so I don't have to fucking deal with my family. And so
I
this
I,
actually
I
worked out
feel you
pretty
on that
well.
one, brother. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much for coming on. Everyone, of course, I'll have links in the description to the album and to Kalen's Twitter and probably Hexblad's Bandcamp as well. Yeah, there's his band. Check it out. It's great. Witcher-themed black metal, which is the coolest thing you've ever heard.
Until you actually hear the record and you're like, oh yeah, it's black metal.
Yeah, don't discount yourself. It's good. It's good shit. The theme, you're
Wait,
gonna grow
wait till
into
you
it.
hear the new stuff.
Oh
Wait till
yeah.
you hear the new stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have all the information down below. I'm gonna make that description a fucking mess because I'm gonna link to literally everything I've mentioned, which is like 20 albums and other stuff. So
Oh, fantastic.
we did timestamps for everything as well, so that because this is gonna be like a 40-minute video probably.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is gonna be on. This is your end of the year video, right?
Yep.
Oh
So
man.
and then I've already recorded everything else, and the honorable mentions, and then 10 through 2 and number 1 are like 25 minutes, I think.
Holy shit.
And I'm gonna have to chop the shit out of this in order to make it not like 40 minutes.
I am excited to see the finished product of this, man.
I have some
Gonna be
work to
tight.
do. I thought I was close to done, and we
You put two idiots in a room, make them talk. They're gonna talk about a
yeah,
lot of shit.
we really we're a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, well, you can follow this nerd on his Twitter, and then you can follow me on my significantly worse Twitter, where I gay post a lot more. And then
Yeah.
wow, and then yeah. So listen to this shit. It's fucking great. And then let's go to number 1. Did I tell you what my number 1 is?
You did not. I don't think you did.
I've been keeping it a secret. Well, unless you
Oh,
read
have
my my Metal Utopia post, which I guess you
I
didn't.
did not.
You motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you tweet about it?
Yeah, but I mean, they kind of censor like links and stuff.
Oh, I might not have seen it then. Damn.
It
What
was
was your
also when
number
you were
one?
in when you were in Toronto. So
Yeah,
just
I
been
was
busy.
really busy.
I'll send it to you. My number
Fantastic,
1
do
was
that.
the Duskborn record. I fucking love that record so
Dude,
much.
I posted my list and I was looking over it and I was like, I forgot Duskmorn. What the
No,
It was so good. What a good record.
dude. I've had so many people be like, dude, this shit sucks. Even my boss for Metal Utopia was like, this is boring. And I'm like, I just joined. I will mess you up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there was only one thing on the record I did not care for, and I think it's the second track on the record where they did the weird like pitch shifted low vocal.
Did they?
Because like it was just, yeah, it's like very jarring at first, but like I kind of got this vibe like that vocal like effect was to like be like a character in like the story they were telling in the song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like once I like kind of got past that mental block, I'm like, oh no, this is sick. This is really fucking cool.
Yeah. For me, it's just like, I mean, I'm someone who gravitates towards great riffs, and that album is like just that to a T. Like it's wall to wall. Like their melody writing is unfucking believable. So, and that's really just like what I gravitated towards with that.
I remember when it came out, I listened to it once, and I'm like, that was pretty okay. And then like a couple months went by. Then I think it might have been you mentioned it in Blaine's chat on like a suggestion Saturdays.
That was me.
And and I was like listening to it on the stream, and I'm like, why have I not been like routinely listening to this? And then it was like in my like rotation for like the next 2 months. Same with like Can Bard.
Yeah. I was obsessed with Duskborn when it came out because it came out like in the middle of the summer when there was like nothing.
Yeah,
else.
It was like July, right?
Yeah, it was July,
maybe early August.
I was like, it popped up on Metal Storm's top 20 of the year, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So I clicked on it, and it said melodic death metal and folk metal. I'm like, that's my shit. And then and then I listened to this, and they're an unsigned duo, and it's like, holy fuck, this is so good. And then I listened to their other records, and they're also great. It's like, oh my god, it's not even my. That's not even their favorite my favorite record of theirs. Their debut from 2014 is my favorite. It's so fucking good.
Which one was the debut?
The debut was Legends.
Look at the album cover. Make sure I've listened to it. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
That album's just, I
yeah.
mean, they're about at the same tier, but I think that first one really had just like more variety, and it was really just
Hmm.
like, because they're kind of, I think they were a Kickstarter band, or they did a Kickstarter at some point, and
They might have,
you can
yeah.
kind of tell that like this is a like a passion project for the most
Hmm.
part, and so it's just oh so good. Anyways, I don't want to run up the time too much because I need to edit this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I was almost just gonna talk about my number one, but
Mm.
I've already recorded that, so it's fine, and you all will listen to that too, because I'm gonna talk about it later. But yeah, so yeah, Stormkeep's amazing, and let's go to number one. Boom, that's the transition. We're done. Woo!
Fantastic, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude, fucking, this was
Yeah.
great. So,
Hmm.
uh, and we out.